Hello YouTube, this is Frugal and this is the Frooglesim news for today, Sunday, February the 21st. First up, Aerosoft's Approaching Quito has been released. Previewed this quite a while ago. The scenery is a recreation of the old Marisol Sucre International Airport, the main international airport serving Quito in Ecuador. It was the busiest airport in Ecuador, beginning operations in 1960, and at its height handled 6.2 million passengers and 164,000 metric tons of freight per year. At 9,200 feet, it is also one of the highest airports in the world and is located, or was located, in the middle of a city surrounded by mountain ranges, making it an incredibly challenging place to fly into as well. Aerosoft's recreation is historically accurate, featuring high-definition passenger terminal model from reference photos, a highly detailed apron and ground textures, as well as aircraft type markings true to what they were historically. Also includes custom land class with autogen, hand-painted relevant mesh as well to accurately depict the hill north of the runway. It cost €19.29 for all versions of FSX and prepared version 3. More information at the Aerosoft link in the show notes below. Next up, Abell's PA-23 Aztec has finally been released. The Aztec is a dual-engine workhorse that was discontinued in 1981, but prior to that served in the US Navy among others, fulfilling roles as diverse as air taxi and air ambulance, mail delivery, and executive transport. The Abell Aztec has the usual Abell feature set. It features Flight 1 and Reality XP integration, volumetric side prop effect, reflections on gauges, accurate sounds in and out of the cockpit, a realistic flight model, and high quality and high detail model and textures. It will set you back $34.95 for all versions of FSX and Prepared 2.5 and Prepared 3. Over to DCS now, and the Albatros training modules are now available. The DCSAlbatros this week left open beta, and that brings with it a number of important changes, including the addition of the L39ZA or ZA model, as well as the full set of training missions for how to fly and master this amazing jet trainer. This also incidentally coincides with DCS World 1.5 updating to 1.53. The change log that comes along with that is immense. More information can be found at the link in the show notes below. For those of you who are not already in the know, the Albatros is a 2-seat jet trainer and actually supports multi-crew within DCS World 2. The DCS version also claims to be the most accurate computer simulation of the Albatros available anywhere and fully models all aircraft systems, engine performance and weapons. If you don't already own the Albatros, it will set you back $49.99 and does of course require DCS World 1.5 or DCS World 2, both of which are free. Sticking with DCS, Razba announced this week that they were stopping work on FSX and Prepared. Now, this does tie into DCS, as you'll see. Bear with me. They announced on Facebook this week that they are stopping work on their FSX and Prepared aircraft for a year. And in the meantime, all their military efforts from this point forward will focus fully on DCS, leaving Prepared for just turboprop and regional airliners. The reason for the break is to develop new technologies, mainly flight model related. They've also said that while there is a very slim chance that they will ever go back to FSX, they do plan after their break to focus mainly on Prepared in the civil aviation space. I think this puts Razba as possibly the first company out there to officially state that they want to exit FSX development in favor of Prepared. This does also seem to indicate that their long-awaited EMB 120 will not be released anytime soon. They stated in their announcement on Facebook that it's nearly done, but they don't like the flight model, and their new technology development efforts are actually initially going to be focused on this aircraft in particular, but for now, as I said, focusing mainly on DCS development. I, for one, cannot wait to see what an increased focus from Razba on DCS only for the time being delivers. Next up, X-Plane news. SBRJ, Santos Dumont for X-Plane, has released. Now, I'm a little confused as to who developed this. I'm going to say I think it's developed by Richard Nunez, and I think Nielsen Flight Sim Scenery. If I got that wrong, please let me know in the comments below. It models Santos Dumont Airport, which is located close to the financial center of Rio de Janeiro. It is the second busiest airport in the state of Rio de Janeiro, has 2 runways, a capacity of 29 operations per hour, and 2 passenger terminals. The scenery features custom runways, ramps and taxiways, all with ambient occlusion, which it seems is something you have to have in X-Plane scenery these days in order to be taken seriously, animated vehicles and water traffic, 3D grass, high quality, high resolution mesh, custom lighting, fully animated ground service traffic, compatibility with auto gate, and much, much more, including surrounding landmarks, which also includes Sugarloaf Hill, the cable car, 3 helipads at Sierra Delta Hotel Uniform, Sierra India Juliet Papa, Sierra November Uniform Oscar, as well as Ho Island, Snake Island, and Fiscal Island. That's quite a lot of stuff in one package. But it also comes with more, that being 35 charts covering the airport itself. It will set you back a paltry $19.95 from the xplane.org store. More information at their link in the show notes below. Final story, sticking with X-Plane, is actually not a new story, but I missed it. The reality expansion for the Carenado Bonanza F33. This actually came out in December, and I missed it, and I shouldn't have, because it actually looks very cool. This is a reality expansion for the Carenado Bonanza in X-Plane, not from Carenado. It was actually developed by Simcoders, and it looks amazing. The expansion aims to add a ton of highly realistic elements to Carenado's aircraft, and I for one hope that they go and do this with a lot more of the Carenado aircraft as well, as it adds something weighty and real to Carenado's aircraft, which frankly too often look and sound great but lack a bit of depth. It adds an ultra-realistic flight model and ground dynamics, including performance and stall speeds and stall behavior to the aircraft, a complex damage system triggered of course by how you fly and how you treat the aircraft, a full and realistic simulation of the IO520 engine, including accurate start procedure, temperatures, and even fuel flooding and vapor lock conditions. Features realistic avionics and electrical system performance, a complete overhaul of the sounds of the aircraft, especially the starter, wind, and touchdown sounds, has a fully interactive walk-around of the aircraft, pop-up kneeboard which includes performance charts, and it even saves the simulation state between flights. And there's actually a ton more than that, but I don't want to dominate the news show with one story. It will set you back just $19.99 from the xplane.org store. It does of course require Carenado's Bonanza, which you can get at the same place for an additional $26.95 if you don't already have it. That's it for this week's show. As always, thank you so much for watching. If I did miss something, leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'll take a look and see if it's worth including in a later episode. Until then, my name is Frugal, and I'll see you very soon.